I've decided that I'm going to be growing my dream kitchen garden here in Wexford, Ireland. I'm going to be doing it while on a budget, while as a stay-at-home mom to twin toddlers, and as a relative beginner. I'm planning on expanding the pre-existing garden. I had installed 3 raised beds last year, shortly after we moved down here. There's a polytunnel that the previous owners left, and there's another raised bed that I haven't touched yet. I'm super excited, and I thought that maybe you would like to join me along in the process. So today is all going to be about finding inspiration, planning what I'm going to grow this spring, and plotting it out on a little garden plan so that I know what goes where. For picking out what I'm going to grow again this year, I'm going to think about what went well last year, what's easy to grow, what is fun to grow or kind of like exotic, and then what's hard to find in grocery stores or like expensive to find in grocery stores. So for things that are easy to grow, I'm looking at kale, Swiss chard, carrots, herbs, potatoes, beetroots, courgettes, shallots, and edible flowers. And then what worked really well last year are some of those things that are easy to grow, along with different greens like spinach, chard, lettuce. I've also got broad beans, went really well, pak choi, radishes, green beans, and cabbage. Some things that are really hard to find here, or I find are like expensive to buy in the grocery stores, are different kinds of tomatoes, different kinds of chili peppers, radicchio, cauliflower, romanesco, and kohlrabi. And then what I find is like really fun to grow and I really want to challenge myself to grow are Jerusalem artichokes, aubergines / eggplants, depending on where you are watching this from, berries, cucumbers, leeks, peas, corn, maybe, artichokes, also maybe, squash, moshtu, and broccoli. So yeah, I'm super excited. I'm gonna get started on mapping out the existing raised beds, the space that I have, and thinking about what I'm gonna plant in the springtime, and then in another video later on, I'll do what I'm gonna plant in the summertime. I also wanna mention that a lot of this information that I already have and kind of my rough structuring for how I'm going to plan it out is inspired by a course that I did last year called Gardenology. It's a self-paced course. I'll include the link below. It's not an affiliate or anything. I just love it so much. And it really goes through like what to plant, how much fits in a space, and how to think about succession planting. So what you're going to start with and then what you're going to replace plants with as you harvest them. They're really in-depth. They have really great like Excel sheets for you to fill out yourself, and I honestly can't recommend the course enough. So I'll add that in. They took inspiration in terms of spacing from the square foot method, which was originally coined by Mel Bartholomew in 1981. And so I'm going to be using that rough idea of like square footage method. So I'm going to be planning out like each bed has how many square feet and what am I going to plant in that square foot. So I've gone outside and I've measured the space in front of the 3 current raised beds to figure out if there's enough space for me to add in a couple more, and there is. So I'm looking at adding about 3 more 6x4 raised beds in front of the current ones that I have. So those are in the south facing part of the garden. So now that I know the measurements of the space that I have, I'm going to plot out what I'm going to grow and where I'm going to grow it. So here is a rough guide / plan to what I'm going to be sowing in spring and where I'm going to be putting them. These top 3 raised beds are the existing 6x4s that are south facing, so they get full sun. This is the larger bed that I haven't tried using yet. That's on the side of the house, so it's partially sunny, but it does have a little bit of shade. So I've tried to pick out vegetables that I think will be okay with a little bit less sun. These are 3 beds that I haven't built yet, but I will be in the coming weeks. Those will also be full sun as they'll be right next to or in front of the existing beds. And these are going to be 3 separate pots or growing bags for my potatoes, my Jerusalem artichokes, and then I want to put together some herb pots with oregano, rosemary, and thyme. For here, I'm going to do cauliflower and mix it in with beetroot and rocket. I'm interplanting to help with the spacing. Last year, I tried to plant too many cauliflowers next to each other and it kind of stunted the growth of some of them because there were just too many. So I'm gonna kind of put them in different spots in the middle, and then I'll put beetroot and rocket in between them. I've got my spinach, my radicchio, my beetroot and peas. Over here I've got my dill, my radish. I'm gonna try and grow some broccoli. In the partial sun one, I've got cabbage, chard, lots of greens, so rocket, spinach, and I've got some herbs like chives, coriander, and dill. So yeah, I mean, a lot of this is subject to change depending on how the sowing goes and anything else I learn in the meantime. And if you are more experienced than me, do feel free to give me any feedback that you have on this. I think it's a great starting point and I'm super excited to dig in. So the next step is for me to buy some seeds. Now that I've had a look at the seed sites that I like to use for ordering my seeds, which I can include in the bio with some links in case you're interested, I have been reminded of a couple of vegetables that I would really like to grow that I forgot to include in the spring plan. Namely leeks and romanesco, which are like these really gorgeous green, like geometrical shaped kind of brassica. It's in the cabbage and cauliflower family. It's really amazing. So now that I have everything ordered and I have my spring plan made, it's just time to get the garden ready for planting. So I hope that you will join me along next week as I get my garden ready.